So, since I filmed my last video, Bitcoin has pretty much taken a slight dumping, which has resulted in massive amounts of liquidations. We're at almost $700 million for a 24-hour period. But the long-short ratio never went more than 3% out of whack, except maybe for a brief 5-minute period. Meaning that I do believe this move down will probably continue, and the 74.8 level looks like a decent magnet. Now, the US dollar is actually correcting a little bit in this week's session. The USDT Dominance closed last week with a higher low on the weekly BX trender, confirming that we will likely see another breakout as we held support on the 33 fair value band. And if you remember what I showed you from 2022, typically Bitcoin, the USDT dominance will come right to the bottom of the band and then reverse. And pretty much it will keep making higher lows and higher highs until we get that breakdown and we get closes underneath the 33 fair value band, and that is typically the marking of a new Bitcoin bull market. Now, Bitcoin on the monthly time frame is unchanged. We're getting very close to a red monthly candle. Bitcoin on the weekly time frame actually showed a lower high on the weekly BX trender until like the last 15 minutes when we got this little breakout bar. So it was dark green. Obviously, this week is pretty fresh, only about 12 hours, 10 hours. I can't maths, but a couple hours old. We'll have to see how this week plays out. On the daily time frame, this sell-off came right down to the 50-day TMA, and for now, it looks like price is bouncing a little bit off of it. So we'll just have to see what happens. Michael Pizzino pushed out a really good video today, as did his brother Jason. So if you haven't watched those videos, make sure you go watch them. And Michael pretty much said the same thing as me. If we snap back above the breakdown zone and we start seeing a fourth time breakout on the upside, this would be a swing failure pattern and a low volume test, meaning the market will probably continue up to the mid 80s, high 80s, or even the low $90,000 range. And obviously, we're still holding above the 50-day TMA for now, so we'll just have to see how the market plays out. Now, obviously, altcoins have absolutely melted in the recent session. You can see Ethereum is now 7 days down. DOT has closed underneath its 50-day triangular moving average. Kronos, USDT, also underneath the 50-day triangular moving average, pretty much reversing all of the gains in May. If we have a look at ADA, not ADA futures, ADA USDT spot crypto, you can see ADA, same thing. It's pretty much reversed all its gains in May and is back underneath the 50-day TMA. So the market overall is looking pretty weak. Bitcoin is hanging on by a thread, and most of the altcoins have already given up. On the 4-hour time frame, you can just see that downtrend is now in play. 1 bar, 2 bar, and 3 bar trends are down, and price is now trading between the 33 fair value band and the -1 standard deviation band. So we'll just have to see how everything plays out. If I get a chance, I will potentially look at doing some maybe Elliott wave or Wyckoff analysis, as it appears we are potentially in a 5-wave impulse to the downside here, where this being a wave 1, that being a wave 2, and we're potentially in a wave 3 right now, where if we can get a 4 and 5 move to the downside, it would very well confirm that the $82,800 top is the top for now. And if I zoom in a little bit more, you can just see that clear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in this first wave 1 here. And we've gotten a bit of a sideways corrective pattern. It is likely a WXY correction or similar, as I don't believe it's a very clean ABC. Obviously, I'd have to zoom into the 1 hour time frame and do a bit more detailed analysis to confirm that, which I won't do right now. On the 1 hour time frame, price is obviously underneath the 33 fair value band. We got this failed move up, resulted in a fast move down, a nice looking double top-ish pattern. Price now looks like it's going to retest the 33 fair value band and the 50-hour TMA from the underside. We'll see how that goes. On the 15-minute time frame, not really much to be said. If we pull up the liquidation map, you can see it does look like we could potentially see a bit of a oversold bounce, especially right here. Price could potentially retest that $78,000 level. And if I pull over to the 4 hour time frame, that would line up very well with where the 4 hour 33 fair value band would potentially be if we take a couple of candles to get up to that level. So that would be ideal. And if we, equalize that long short ratio, it's pretty close to equal, then maybe we will see the start of another move down. I am still eyeing off this liquidation cluster at around $74,000 as the next move down, but we'll just have to take it one step at a time. FOMO Finder is now only an uncertainty rather than panic, showing that this move down could be sustained. Fear and greed obviously has gone back into fear. It's not an extreme fear, so this is kind of what Jason has been saying, how Bitcoin's price, as the bear market goes on, can keep grinding lower, but the sentiment starts to pick up a little bit. Obviously, daily exchange volume still pretty pitiful, and we aren't expecting any major rallies for as long as the volume looks pretty pitiful. That's pretty much it for me, from me today. We'll obviously have to wait for the stock market to open, and we'll see how the close ends up going. And we'll just have a quick look at sentiment here. You can just see how many people are bullish on the market right now versus neutral and bearish. So this, as More Crypto Online has been saying, in corrective bounces, especially towards the top here, you want a lot of people bullish before we can get that next leg down. So this is really good. You can just see almost everyone on Bybit is, so not just Bybit, Binance, OKX, all bullish, but Smart Money is bearish. Now, I don't know what Smart Money is doing on OKX or the whales on OKX. It seems that OKX data is not as reliable as Binance or Bybit. But for now, it looks like every single person is buying this dip. So we'll just have to see what happens in the next few hours or days. Thank you for watching, and please like, comment, and subscribe. Goodbye.